They're in.
Hey, somebody has come. No,
Oh, I thought maybe you.
no. Hi,
Hello. Welcome today.
how are you? Hope you are well. We're just giving people time to come join us. We're glad you're with us. Mm-hmm. Said it and I mean it. Glad you're with us. Glad you're with us. Come on in. Let us know who's here. Let us know where you're watching from. What's up with you? What's up with you? You know, as I've moved to the South, when people find out that I'm from Michigan, the automatic assumption is Detroit.
Yeah, down here.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think that's the only place they know.
That's all they know.
If you black,
You must
and
be
you're from Michigan.
You must be from Detroit. And so I've had a couple people over the last few months when they find it out, they say, "Oh, so you say what up, though?" I'm like,
I can say
I
it.
can say it, but
do say it.
that's Detroit. That's my D people.
Michigan is so vast.
Yeah, we are not a monolith.
Mm-hmm.
Monolith being that everyone of the same group acts the same exact way. No, we got other components, and not everybody even from the D acts the same.
Right. You got East Side and West Side.
Well, y'all different. You know, y'all East Siders are different
They are proudly from East Side.
than the West Siders. Everybody just so proud of the place that they ran out of. Oh, wait. See, now that's where I'm going to make y'all mad if you happen to be from the D. Everybody will always want to represent where they from, even though where they from most of the time is not where they at. How does that work? If you're so happy and so proud, you still rapping,
They can be proud.
then go on home. I'm just playing. Well, me, I'm from another part of Michigan. My adult years, I claim the set of White Cloud, where the North. No,
The WC.
no. My adult years, I claim the set of Grand Rapids, GR, Gunru. That's where I spent most of my adult years in Michigan. About 10 of them. Just about 10. 9. Plus, if I add some Grand Valley years, then I'm at like 10, 11, 12-ish.
Yeah, you can count it. You live there.
So that is my adult home. But my childhood home is where the North begins and the pure waters flow. White Cloud. I'm from the East Side.
Represent.
East Side of White Cloud.
See how you're not there anymore, but you repping?
That's what I'm saying. So, you know, if y'all can rep those places you don't live anymore, then I can rep those places I don't live anymore.
Yeah.
I'm from the East Side of White Cloud. Wait. That's a small little radius.
But it is funny, like, so yeah, a lot of people do automatically jump to, oh, you from Detroit?
Mm-hmm.
But when we say, no, we're from Grand Rapids, some people know, where Grand Rapids is or around there. But if they don't, then we have to say, well, that's what, like 2.5 hours from.
You know what Michiganders have to do. You got to put up the state and say, nah, I'm from like over like west.
Well, if they don't know where it is, but they know about Detroit, then you got to tell them how far from Detroit that is.
Right. But I love Detroit. I love
Me
my
too.
Detroit fam and friends. Very connected. We went to school with so many people from the Detroit area. We used to take staycations when we lived up there. We used to take staycations over. I know this don't sound exciting to y'all, but over to Southfield.
It was exciting to me. I like staycations.
We liked it because we had a couple special hotels that we liked over there.
And restaurants.
And restaurants that were situated. We go over to Fish Bones. We go over to Beans and Cornbread. Y'all don't know nothing about that. And then after we moved down here, we got turned on to Nikolai's. I think that's what I don't know how you really say it.
Oh, in Detroit.
Yeah. And so we had all our little spots. I said bonefish, but I meant fish bones.
Fish bones?
Fish bones. We get alligator and I can't remember what else we get from there, but it was good. It was good. And so
I think they have red beans and rice too.
yeah, they did. They did. It was good. And
Good
so
stuff.
that was our spot. So we know a little bit about the D.
Hey,
We
Earlene.
spent a lot of time. What's up, Earlene? We spent a lot of time over off Jefferson, down a little further than Belle Isle, over the Cathedral Center. Uh, we know a little bit about the D and got love for it. But that's not the only part of Michigan that there is.
For black
I was
people.
trying to tell people we everywhere. We everywhere. We don't even gotta go to Grand Rapids. We can keep on going up to Baldwin and Idlewild and all these spots, and we got love for those areas and family and friends in those areas as well. So we everywhere. But then there's all these small nooks of just blackness overtaking little spots. You got places like Covert, South Haven, and then somebody was telling me about some other town I can't remember that I didn't even know was like that the other day, and I done lost Decatur. Decatur. I was like, oh, Decatur for real? And so we everywhere, and so, but today we are here. We're glad you're with us. We hope that you are having a wonderful week. We hope that you are experiencing great blessings, favor, miracles, healing, signs, wonders. And we want to speak that over you even right now. I feel that. I just feel led even right now just to speak blessings and new adventures and new avenues and new relationships, all sorts of newness coming to you. What's up, Heather? I saw you, Heather, posting. Yeah, we
Hey, Heather.
we pay attention. You better watch yourselves. We watching. I saw you posting up in Baldwin at the Blessing of the Bikes. I was like, oh man, that's a taste of home. So that's fun. That's fun. And certainly we're enjoying this season. I ain't planning on talking about any of this, but like yesterday, was it yesterday? Day before
Yeah.
yesterday, we went out on the lake, put up a tent, brought the barbecue grill, just hung out, had a relaxing time, went fishing. So I'm happy. I'm energized and rejuvenated because it was much needed. And I didn't say this to her, but I just thank Camille because she sometimes thinks about what I need better than what I think about what I need. And so she's been trying and trying to get me out into a setting and situation like that. And I have been rejecting it because I'm busy.
Months and months
I'm busy.
and months of rejection.
Yeah. And seriously, and I think this is important to share.
Ooh,
Oh,
Jones's ice
so
cream.
you just stopped the whole talk in its tracks when you put
'Cause
Jones ice cream
You
up
haven't
there.
had ice cream till you've been
It's
to
the
Jones's.
best. It's the best. Then if you go across the street over to Pompeii's, get you a
We done changed
Stromboli.
the whole-
Do it the other way around. Get your
Yeah,
Stromboli.
get the Stromboli
Yeah,
first.
get that, and then go over to Jones's and get yourself a nice,
Yeah.
nice, whatever kind of ice cream you like, homemade ice cream.
Yeah, good stuff.
Like with the dry ice in the back. It's all love. That's home too.
It says the internet went out for a second.
Oh, did it?
I
Oh.
hope they could still hear us.
What are we? Which one are we on there? Can you let us know if you can still hear us? We're having some technical
It's
issues.
on the house one.
Okay. Let me close out of these. We're having a couple technical issues, but if you would comment, let us know if you can still hear us. Sounds like we had
think it's
some
back.
technical issues. Hopefully we're back.
It was scrambled. Oh, okay.
Okay. I'm
Well,
glad.
do we got to do the whole thing about Jones's ice cream again?
I think she caught that. But go to Pompeii's and then go to Jones's and just enjoy. Just enjoy. They got it going on. And so, what I was saying, I'm talking about the computer. Look, we're going to get ourselves together today.
You know, you can't predict this internet stuff.
Yeah.
You know, you purchase internet
You
from
pay good money.
so-called good companies,
Mm-hmm.
and it works real good when you first get it. Then you pass that first
That
year,
honeymoon phase.
and it's like they adjust your bandwidth or something.
So
Anyway,
I'm going to,
sorry guys.
yeah, sorry for the difficulties. Down again, back up, down up. Sorry. We doing push-ups with y'all. Down, up, down, up. Hopefully you can hear us now. But here's the thing that I think I want to make sure I get this across while you can hear it. Don't allow your busyness to stop you from your self care. Don't allow your busyness to take priority over caring for your own needs, your physical, mental health, all of it, all spiritual health, all components of your health. Take care of you, because if you don't take care of you, you're not going to be able to handle that business you're trying to handle well anyway. And you will come back rejuvenated, re-energized, refocused, and ready to take it on. And so now
you're trying to go back out fishing.
Now I'm going to go back out because I need to do more of that. I need more of that in my life. And so, just wanted to share that. I'm sorry we're having technical issues. Let us know again, because I'm assuming that it's working right, but let us know.
How do you know when it's off right here?
Let us know if you are
okay.
If you're hearing us correctly at this point in time. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Thanks for staying with us. Thanks for being your patient selves. Okay. Yep. Okay. I see you getting it. Yeah, you got to take care of you first. If you don't take care of you, who's going to? If you don't make time for you, who's going to? Mm-hmm. And so prioritize your self-care. Is that's the quick thing I'm going to make sure that I throw in there if you don't get nothing else out of this. And so that was that. We haven't given you all an update on our gardening for a little while, and we're going to start there for a minute. We got some stuff that's just growing and going, and that is cool. Mm-hmm. We got some stuff that said, oh, you thought I was going to work?
I'm done.
You thought I was going to grow? What was wrong with you? So it's a combination, which is just as many things in our lives that we invest in, there are some things that, what's wrong?
I'm just checking. Because now I'm like...
paranoid?
Yeah.
There are some things that you invest in and it works. It brings back a return. And there's other things that you invest in that doesn't work out the way you wanted it to work out. So sometimes what human nature does is it determines that's too risky. So I'm just not going to invest at all. Or I'm just not going to sow. Which guarantees no harvest.
Because it might not work.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We might not get what we want or
Mm-hmm.
what we expect.
Yeah. So some of us, our minds will come to the conclusion that because it's risky, I'm not going to try it.
I ain't going to do it.
I ain't going to do it.
No point in trying.
No point in trying. And so when we fall for the mental trap, I don't know if it's a trap we set for ourselves out of human nature. I don't know if it's the enemy. I don't know if it's a combination. Whatever it is, when we fall into that trap of giving up on the possibilities because of the reality that it may not work, we have automatically set ourselves up to lose. There is no possible way to win.
And I think the other thing too that aids in us not taking those chances is because we don't have enough experience or know-how. Mm-hmm. And so that is also a deterrent to actually jumping in and taking the risk.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I see that. I feel that, Heather, because
it was all bad before,
we begin to frame our future based on our past. Mm-hmm. That's a mistake.
That's the other thing too.
Mm-hmm.
Your risks do have to be calculated. Like, it has to be a risk that God has asked you to do. Yes, urged, dropped in your spirit, things like that. So it's not, don't just It can't be just every single thing that comes to mind. I mean, you gotta pray about that thing, recognize if it's something that God put in your spirit too. So that's the other piece of that. The risk that God tells you to take is absolutely what you should do.
Yeah. Really, on the other side of it, we realize if it's a risk that God told us to take, it's not really a risk. The risk is more in not doing
Right, discernment.
what he tells you to do. Yeah, discernment. And so we frame our future. It's a pitfall, and I feel you because I do it too. So this isn't a judgment statement. I'm right there with you, Heather. We frame our current appetite for risk based on how we perceive, not even the reality of what has happened in the past, but how we perceive what has happened in the past. When in the past, as Camille was just saying, it might have been that we tried something, but it may not have been what we were supposed to try. Mm-hmm. We might have just decided we were going to, like, well, I'm just going to jump in, I'm going to take a risk on this relationship.
Right.
Or I'm going to take a risk on this job. And nobody tell us to. There was no prompting. There was no urging. There was no pulling. There was no God said in it.
Yeah.
It was just, I'm going to just do something. Throw a whole bunch of stuff up against the wall, see if anything sticks. And then when it doesn't work, we then
label it.
Yeah.
Like, well, every time I try something, it doesn't work.
Yeah. And we create that narrative that, oh, I tried it before and it didn't work, so I'm just going to give up on it. When in reality, we may have tried something. We may have even tried something that God said. But if we're honest with ourselves, at least I'll speak for me, many times I'll try what he said, but not exactly the way that he told me.
Or we tried the way that he said, and we have an expectation for what the outcome is supposed to be. Mm-hmm. We decide, oh, well, God told me to do this, so this is what's supposed to happen at the end of this.
It's just going to work.
This is the harvest I'm supposed to get because I know God said it. And so then we can be disappointed because God may have had a whole different lesson for you to learn. He may have had like just so many nuances to what your experience is supposed to be. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, right, what you're saying. So we'll define what we think we're supposed to get out of it. Mm-hmm. When he didn't say that's what we're supposed to get out of it, he just said, do it. Mm-hmm. And it very well may have been that the doing it is a part of your preparation and the process of learning what does and what doesn't work. And so he just wants to see, are you going to step out on faith and do what I told you to do? And the outcome, like, don't formulate an outcome from an instruction. Ooh, somebody needs to type that. Don't formulate an outcome from an instruction. Because we don't always know what the outcome of the instruction is even supposed to be.
Yeah.
I wish somebody would type it because I don't want to lose that.
We have to be open for whatever God is planning for that experience, for that journey.
Yeah.
Be open for the journey. What did you? I can type it real quick.
I don't know. I don't know. That's why I needed them. I think I said something like, don't form an outcome from an instruction. Something like that. So there may be something that you're going to get out of your obedience that's different than what you expected that you were going to get out of it. So don't allow yourself to fall into the trap of saying, I did not get the outcome that I was aiming for, so I'm never going to try anything like that again. Because in your decision to never try anything like that again, you limit yourself and push your own self and your own destiny and your own progress and your own success into a corner where it doesn't have any room to grow, to thrive, to prepare, to come alive, to become. And so you're limited to always being what you've always been because you will only do the limited things that have worked for you in the past, and you can never get out of the environment that you're in, the situation that you're in, the mindset that you're in, by continually doing the same things that got you to the position that you're at. And oh my goodness, if we will always do what we've always done, we will always have what we always had. But if, and I believe I'm talking to some people on here today who want to see something different, who want to experience better, who want to access more. If you want to get to more, you have to try something different. If you want to get to a new destination, you have to go a different route. If you keep on traveling the same path, you're going to keep on arriving at the same destination. So if you want to see something different, be something different, experience something different, feel something different, hold something different, oh my goodness, be connected to something different, you can't stay on that exact same path and think you're going to get somewhere else.
I'm wanting to add to that. If you want to be different,
Yeah.
like if you feel like there is another level of being, of
There's more. There's
more for yourself, more for your mind, your mindset. It's, all of that. We have to go for the things that God drops in our spirit.
Yeah. Somebody type, there's more for me. There's more for me. There's more for me. Oh my goodness. There's more for me. There is more for me. All right.
How do we get on that subject?
Because we're talking about our plants. We get in every garden. Some of
It's
it
good,
worked.
though. It's good.
Some of it worked. Some of it didn't.
There we go. That's what it was.
That's how we got there. And so one of the parts of the process that I'm learning from Camille's research, I'm just going to leave that right there, is that there is a process. So we have some plants that we have started in the house that we are attempting to grow our own seedlings, so that the seedlings are ready to put outside in the ground, so that they can begin to grow, like the stuff that we have out there that's taken off, like our onions, like our carrots, like our lettuce, our romaine lettuce. We got some things that are just growing. We'll send you pictures or take you out there on a live one day, and so, but we need the seedling to form in a safe environment in the home first, before we can put it out in the ground, in the elements and in the weather and in the environment, in the conditions. And so Camille, through her research, has found out something about a process. There's more for me. I see you. About a process that has to happen in the in-between. Woo! There's a process in the in-between for you. You don't have to be stuck in this house in a safe environment forever, but you can't go straight to the place where you will take off. There's a process, and we dislike processes because processes require patience.
Too slow.
Yep. We try to get ourselves out of processes because processes take too long, too slow. They require patience, and so we want to skip. We want to bypass processes and get straight to end products.
We want to already be.
We don't want to do what needs to be done so that we can be. We just want to go straight to being. Oh my goodness.
Go straight to harvest.
Yeah. But there's a process in between your initial being babied and being formed into a seedling and you're going to the ground and becoming a harvest, and it's called hardening. Can you talk about hardening?
Yeah, hardening is for what we're doing is a 7-day process of gradually exposing the seedlings to the outdoor elements. So the first day we had to take the plants out and leave them, water them inside first, make sure they have plenty of water, take them outside and leave them in a shaded area for 2 hours, because they're not used to this kind of next level, right?
Exposure.
So they still have to be somewhat baby, but they're being introduced to next level. So that's the first day. Then the second day you take them out and you put them in a partially sunny area for, let me see, it was So not direct sunlight, for a few hours, so like 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
You bring them back in, and you put them back in their safe place, under the artificial light, the grow light that we have, back in the element that was easy for them to grow. Right. Day 3, they have to get full sun that day, so we water them before we take them out, and we put them in full sun for like 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Day 4, we water them, take them back out in full sun for 6 hours, 5 to 6 hours. And for me, I gauged the 5 to 6 hours based on how they were doing each day, because you can tell they're like traumatized. They like, some of them look like they died, over the course of these days of hardening. Some of them did die. Some of them have just been going strong. Like, I'm graced for this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready. I'm ready to be outside.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of gauged when it said 5 to 6 hours full sunlight. I'm like, well, they did all right. I'm gonna do 5.5 hours. Then day 5, you water them, take them out first thing in the morning, and you don't bring them back in until sundown.
Mm.
Day 6, you take them out, and you take them out in the morning, and you leave them overnight. At this point, first time overnight was night 6. And we checked on them, and we were like, oh, they made it, yay! The ones that were still making it. And here we are. This is actually day 7 for us. They were outside all night last night. We checked on them this morning, and they get to be planted in the planter today outside. They're going to now live their life, and then go to the next level and start producing fruit, or whatever it is, from this time on.
Mm-hmm.
So they're ready. They're
Mm-hmm.
ready to be outside.
Mm-hmm. So it is a process of gradual exposure. It's called hardening because they become stronger as they are able to persist longer in the environment. The winds and the rains the sun doesn't destroy it, because it has been gradually exposed, and it is strengthening and hardening so that it can endure the environment that we're placing it in. If it can endure this season, then it's almost guaranteed that with enough nurturing, cultivating, that it's going to produce a harvest. The problem is that some of them are struggling to endure the hardness. Oh man, I didn't give y'all a scripture, but we got one. 2 Timothy chapter 2, verses 3, especially 3, but probably that 3 through about 6. I got a different version than I want up. I'm going to go to the New Living. 2 Timothy 2, verse 3 through 6. Verse 3 says, "Endure suffering along with me as a good soldier of Christ Jesus." Now let me tell you what it says in the King James, that verse 3. It says, "Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Jesus Christ." Now I don't want all those thou therefore, so I'm going to go to the New King James Version. And it says, "You therefore," this is where I'm going to stay. "You therefore must endure hardship as a good soldier of Jesus Christ." I'm sure you have.
Amplified is good.
What's it say?
It says, "Take with me your share of hardship, passing through the difficulties which you are called to endure, like a good soldier of Christ Jesus."
Man. So all of them are saying the same thing. The assignment for you, if you're going to get to a place of flourishing and producing a harvest, is that you have to, a prerequisite is you have to be able to deal with the elements of your environment. You have to endure hardness, endure hardships, endure suffering, endure, what does yours say? Hardship.
Yeah. Passing through
And
the
difficulties.
Yeah.
Endure difficulties. You have to be able to keep on standing through the hardness, through the suffering, through the hardship, through the difficulties, through the tough times, through the adjustment, through the in-between period, through the transition. Oh God. You got to be able to stand through the transition if you ever going to get to a place where you're going to really be able to produce in an environment that is conducive to you bringing forth the harvest that was intended for you. That is a part of your identity. You are designed to produce. You are designed to produce certain fruit. That's your purpose. That's your calling. You were brought here to produce certain fruit. There's something you're supposed to be producing that nothing else can produce the way that you produce it. But you're never going to produce it if you allow the difficulties and the hardships and the hardness and the suffering of the environment that you're in to cause you to give up on growth. Oh, man.
Because this is the thing. These seedlings cannot produce the fruit they're supposed to produce if they stay in the seedling form, if they stay in the small
Safe
soil environment that they're in, because they need bigger space to grow and expand. And they have to be outside to get the air and the pure sunlight and all that to be able to grow even bigger. And then it gets to a point where it gives you something from it.
Thrives.
Yeah.
It produces things that will produce. Before it can get to a place where it can begin to produce things that will produce, it has to endure this period, this seasoning. It's a temporary season. She didn't say you keep on doing that the whole time. Yeah, it's a process. It's a process. And so we talked earlier, Heather, you made me think when you said, yeah, I've tried that. I don't remember how you said it exactly, but I've tried that in the past, and that causes me to hesitate from taking risk in my present.
That didn't work out.
Yeah. Some of us have been traumatized. You used the word when you were describing the hardening process. Some of us have been traumatized because we received exposure to newness before we were ready for it. And we were just thrust into it. There was no processing. And so the trauma will prevent us from producing the trauma will prevent us from thriving. How about that? The trauma of our past, if we allow it to, will prevent us from thriving in our present and into our future. Oh my goodness. And so I only read we only read verse 3. You therefore must endure hardship as a good soldier of Jesus Christ. Verse 4, no one engaged in warfare entangles himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who enlisted him as a soldier. And then verse 5, and also if anyone competes in athletics, he's not crowned unless he competes according to the rules. You got to get in the process. That's what both these examples are saying. You have to engage the process if you're ever going to thrive. Oh my goodness.
Can't be afraid of the process.
Yeah. If you don't engage the process, you will never thrive. I'm going to keep on saying it. You will never thrive. If you allow past failures to stop you from future triumphs, you will never thrive. If you allow your past mistakes to keep you from taking current chances that are ordained and orchestrated. You'll never get to the place where you will produce the harvest that is a part of your identity. It's who you are. It's why you're here. It's what you're supposed to do. You can't allow yourself to get locked into staying in that place of safety, that place with the grow light over you that won't allow fruit to come forth from you. You gotta engage the process if you ever are going to thrive. So it gives you these examples. Anyone who competes in athletics, he's not crowned unless he competes according to the rules. You gotta get in the game. You have to engage the process. And then verse 6, the hard-working farmer must be first to partake of the crops. I see y'all talking.
Before you go there,
Yep.
I want to add that hardship allows you to maintain on the next level.
Yes.
Because the hardness is what gives you the experience that you need to deal with the harder things or new things that will be on the new level, right? It gives you thick skin, because if you just go from seedling to straight outside, planted in the new area, you're not equipped to deal with what's on the next level yet. And so the hardness, even though it's not a fun process, it's necessary so you can be sustained in the next level.
Yeah. You got to be strong enough to handle where you're going. And the only way to get strong enough to handle where you're going is to allow yourself to engage the process that strengthens you, that makes your muscles ready. That's why we talk about a soldier and an athlete in the examples. Like, if you go into war or if you go into competition, you need to be strong enough to be able to handle what you're going to. There is a process. You don't get thrown into battle and military conquest if you didn't go through basic training. It's a short period of time in the grand scheme of things, but
a hardening process.
Yeah, it gets you ready. Some of us, oh boy, I'm crossing a bridge. Some of us too soft.
The word soft came to mind.
Some of us too soft because we won't allow ourselves to be developed.
We get comfortable just saying, "Oh, the artificial light, that's good enough for me."
It's comfortable.
I don't have to be outside and all those elements. I wish I could produce those cucumbers like they are, or the tomatoes, or all the beautiful leaves on the lettuce so big, but I'm gonna just stay in here and I'm just gonna stay like this.
So we admire those who we perceive to be thriving from a distance. We look at them like, man, they are doing it. Bravo. Good work.
But how did they do it?
Yeah. We admire their outcome, but we ignore their process. And we don't try on. We won't try it on. We won't engage difficult processes because they're uncomfortable.
I think too that there's a group of people who don't realize that there's a process, and that just because there is some hardship, it doesn't mean that that's not it. You know, so if God told you to do it, right? The people who are experiencing levels that you feel drawn to, like, man, I could see myself doing that, or being successful, maybe not in that same exact area, but being successful on that level. Some people, I think, don't realize, there is a process that even they went through to get there. It was not all easy. There was a process of hardship. And so I think that's helpful for people too, to just know that everybody's going through whatever the process is of hardening.
Yeah. From the outside, when we look at people who are real successful, it's like we think that something happened to them that they were able to bypass the hardness. and the suffering. But if you ask anybody who made it anywhere, who accomplished anything, they will tell you it wasn't easy. There, I had to suffer. I had to go without. I had to work real hard. I had to study. I had to sacrifice my joy for a season. It's the hardening process. That's what you're in. Okay. So this week we were talking, I think it was this week you and I were talking about the scripture where David said, and I don't remember where it is, but he said, "It was good for me that I was afflicted." And I was just thinking about, we were talking about it and thinking about what that really means. It was good for me that I was afflicted. It is those hardening times. I didn't know we were going to go to that. It is the processes that make us strong. It is the process that feels like affliction. But that affliction, when we get on the other side of it, we realize that it was the affliction that prepared us for the thriving. So it was good for me that I was afflicted, because now I know how to endure some hardness. If I wouldn't have went through that, I wouldn't have been ready for this. It's all connected. If I wouldn't have had this process, I wouldn't have been prepared for this promise. And so it was good for me that I was afflicted.
Yeah. So when you don't qualify for something, when you get a no about something, that's, we look at that as the affliction, right? In this example. So at that point, when you can't get what you were hoping to get, or maybe what you're used to being able to easily achieve, that affliction then makes you a person, I think, who realizes, okay, well, I got to do something to be able to qualify, right? It will then make you go through a process of getting yourself to a place of being able to qualify, of being able to attain the yes, right? And so it means there may have to be some education, some studying, some investing in yourself to be able to get to where you're supposed to be, so you can achieve, that next level. The affliction is what catapults you into the process.
Yeah. Many times our afflictions have the potential either to become a deterrent that makes us go in a corner in a fetal position and not do anything, or it can become a driving force for us.
Yeah.
Like, what I'm not going to do is let that thing stop me.
Right.
What I'm not going to do is get to another challenge like that and just fold my arms and give up, throw up hands and give up. So it can either become a deterrent. It's up to us. It's a matter of how we process it that will determine if that affliction works for us or against us. If we say that was too hard, I'm just going to stay in this safe place, put me back in the light hut, like put me back in my comfort zone. Yeah, you can live out your days like that, but it's going to be boring. It's going to be the same old stuff, same old outcomes. But if you can change your perspective and say, you know what? I'm going to use my failure. I'm going to use my affliction. I'm going to use this discomfort as motivation, as gasoline, as petrol to drive me into the next level. Then, and only then, will you be able to use that hardening experience to prepare you for your thriving place.
Right.
I hope y'all getting this. I hope y'all getting this. Yeah. 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 Don't let your fears allow you become your driving force that drives you to nowhere.
Because that's the wrong driver, right?
Right. It's driving you to the wrong destination. It's driving you to sitting still. Fear drives you to paralysis.
Yeah.
Man.
And you can get comfortable in that too.
Mm-hmm. Fear will drive you to somewhere where you're just going to sit there and sit still. It doesn't really drive you to forward movement. It drives you to retreat. Mm-hmm. Going the wrong way on the highway.
Opposite direction.
Oh, man. So allow it to become your driving force to say, I know I don't want to be in this spot. I went through this, and now I know how to get through what I went through. Look, because once you go through hardness, you learn, you don't necessarily, you can learn how to use it as motivation. Mm-hmm. And the next time you face something like that, you know some things to do to maneuver.
Right.
Because you've gained some wisdom. You've gotten stronger, wiser, better. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Marvin Sapp. Oh, my goodness. So it's up to you. If it was good to me, David said, that I was afflicted. Now, it wasn't good to some folks that they were afflicted because they allowed that to be their finish line. Don't allow your affliction to become your finish line. Allow it instead to become your starting point.
And don't allow your afflictions to be your excuse.
Mm.
Well, I didn't do that because this happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I couldn't get that because I got this going on.
Mm-hmm.
God is amazing at making the craziest things work out for people.
Yeah.
And so we have to add our faith and our movement to what God is trying to do for us.
Yeah, that's good. I love what you said. Don't allow your affliction to become your excuse. Mm-hmm. And we can get into that woe is me. Like, man, yeah, I was trying to go after that goal, but then this thing came against me, or people didn't have my back. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not discounting it. That's real. Like, people do flake out on you. Mm-hmm. I'm not discounting that. And it's not cool. Like, it's especially when it's
feeling.
Yeah, especially when it's people that should have your back.
Or people that you've had their back.
Yeah.
And they don't reciprocate, right?
Yeah. So we're not minimizing that at all. Like, that's terrible. They shouldn't do that. But if they did, are you going to sit there and just cry and be paralyzed and give up on all your goals, hopes, and dreams? Or are you going to allow that to become motivation? I got to get in a new circle. I got to get up out of here. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to stay here for them to keep on doing me dirty.
Do you know what that does to your mind when you grit your teeth and you say, I'm getting it done anyway?
Anyway. I wish somebody would type it. Anyway. Anyway.
Man, like, it opens up a whole world of understanding and experience and know-how. When you try that thing, you say, I'm going to go after this anyway.
That's the process.
No matter what, I'm going after it. Okay, that blocked me, but my eye is on this prize. I'm getting it done. Mm-hmm.
Forgetting those things which are behind, mm-hmm. and looking to those things which are to come. I press toward the mark for the prize. That's a determination. That's a persistence. That's an endurance. Mm-hmm. I press through it.
And that's part of the process too. And that's the thing people don't really realize. Part of the process can be certain people having to vacate your life, mm-hmm. or your environment. Mm-hmm. And so you sit there and you're upset that someone did you wrong, but did God intend for them to fall off so that you could get to your next level?
It's a part of the process.
It's all a part of it. It doesn't feel great all the time, but man, if you can get a hold to what God wants you to learn in these processes, you can go through this stuff and get to your next level in such a more mature way, like just mature thoughts, like, okay, God, I know you're working in this some kind of way. Maybe I don't understand everything, but help me to understand what you want me to understand in this process. Help me to learn what you want me to learn. When you get on the other side of that thing, you'll be like, man, there's no way this person could have been in my life for me to be here right now. Because I don't know, it could be that they would have sabotaged what you were supposed to be doing on the next level.
Or we could have sabotaged what we were supposed to be doing on the next level because we allowed our reliance and our dependence to be on people,
on a person,
rather than on God.
Right.
Oh my! Sometimes God has to separate people from us, and we feel the break of it because it's comfortable. We get comfortable with certain people. We get comfortable, and we're like, you're going to be with me to the end. Me and you must never part. We're going to always be together. It's you and me, best friends forever, BFF. And then, how many of you are really still connected to your BFF that you wrote in elementary school? Yeah. So we're like, okay, we begin to rely on the comfort and the stability of certain people, and God has to. It's not, and we think it's their fault. It's not always their fault. Sometimes it's that we're relying too heavily, and God has to rip. Yeah, that's what I want to use. He has to rip us apart. And usually that it takes a traumatic thing, because we wouldn't just, if he said, I want you to stop relying on that person, we're not just going to say, okay, and turn away and go. So sometimes it has to be some trauma that gets built into it that rips us apart, because that's the only way that you're going to actually go in a different direction from that person that you grew comfortable.
It makes, the word comes to mind, pruning. Sometimes to grow, you got to prune what's not necessary, so that then things can blossom. I mean, I also had a vision too of, like, when you're doing hair, those who are, into cosmetology and stuff like that, when you're doing hair, there is a process. Like, say changing hair color, right? You got to strip the color. Then you got to add the color in, or whatever. I haven't done it before, but I've seen it a little bit. Then you got to add in what's necessary to get to the end result that you need. And so there's this pruning or stripping process that is required to get to the end result.
Man, that's heavy. That's heavy.
It's beautiful in the end, though, right?
The outcome's beautiful. The process,
messy.
It's messy and fragile. If you get that process wrong, your hair might come out a color you didn't intend. I can't say a color because some of us intend some of every color, so I don't want to offend anybody. It might come out a color you didn't intend. If the process, but in order to get the outcome that you're trying to get to, you have to engage, you have to engage the hard process. Endure hardness as a good soldier. Good soldier. A good soldier gonna stay in the fight. Man. A good double process. See, y'all talking stuff I don't know a lot about. I don't know a lot about the hair dyeing process. And you notice how Camille threw in there, I haven't done it. I'm natural. No, she didn't say it like that.
I'm saying it like I don't know.
I'm playing.
How to do it, but I've seen it done.
So I've been told, mine is the original color and flowing and beautiful and vivacious and stuff right now. No.
Whatever. She's making up stuff.
I think if you play it back, you'll see you'll see what she said right in there. So I've heard other people.
Huh?
I'm playing.
You're making no sense right now. Move on.
That's it. That's it. Endure hardness as a good soldier. Don't allow yourself to die in your comfy place without engaging the process that will allow you to not just be comfortable, but to thrive. There's a difference between comfort and thriving. And in reality, if we look at what we consider our comfort zones, they are not built to last. They do not remain comfortable for the long haul. But thriving will provide for you through every season. Just keep on producing. Woo.
Then you're more at a level or a place where you can help someone else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that's all I had, and Camille just knocked it out the park. So I hope that gives you something to think about and to apply to your life. Don't stay in the comfortable when there's a place of thriving that's waiting for you. Engage the process. Don't get stuck in what has been and miss out on what could be. Engage the process. Endure hardness as a good soldier. You therefore must endure hardship as a good soldier of Jesus Christ. If you're going to be a soldier, you got to endure. If you're going to be an athlete, you got to compete. You have to engage the process.
One of the definitions of endure is to remain in existence or last. So remain during the process. Last through the process.
I was talking to somebody, this is a couple years ago now. And they told me, they said, the word God has given me for my life for this year is remain. Remain. Like, sometimes that's the process. Remain. Just keep. My dad would say it like this. He'd look at me all the time. He'd say, just keep living. I don't know who I'm talking to today, but just keep living. Just keep living.
Or what Dory said, just keep swimming.
Just keep swimming. She's so positive and clueless. Just keep swimming. But that's what we got to do. Endure hardness as a good soldier. Now, there's a bad soldier. Bad soldier goes AWOL when the battle starts.
Or in the middle.
Or in the middle. Bad soldier says, forget it. Bad soldier will turn on you. A bad soldier does everything in their power to get out of the process. But we need to endure hardness as a good soldier. And then I'm not even going to deal with the last verse, verse 6, but it's a lot in it. The hard-working farmer must be first to partake of the crops. If you endure, a harvest is coming.
Yeah.
And you get to enjoy the harvest, but then you're going to have enough to live off of the harvest and to share it, as Camille already said, with somebody else. You'll be a first partaker of the harvest if you endure, if you remain.
That's good.
I think it's good. I think it's good. Thanks for sticking with us through
The hardships.
the hardships of internet connectivity. Good. Good. I'm glad it's helping. Yeah. They're enduring. So there are different ways to endure. You can endure in your comfort zone, or you can endure to your place of thriving. That's a choice. This is the thing. This isn't going to determine, in most cases, like heaven and hell. This is a choice.
Yeah.
How do you want to live while you're on earth? You just want to get by? Just want to make it? Or do you want to be all the things that you are, that your identity says that you're called to be? You want to produce what you are designed to produce.
Yeah.
I do. I want to produce what I'm designed to produce. Not there yet. Doing the best I can every day and figuring out what that really means along the journey. Just and messing up and figuring and trying again. That's enduring. Messing up, trying again, that's enduring. But we're getting somewhere. I believe you're getting somewhere.
Yep.
That's why you're here.
Yep.
So whether you're watching live or on the rebroadcast, Endure it. Endure
Remain.
hardness. Remain. Hey, sorry. There's a scripture that says something like, and y'all can look it up and have it exactly right. But Jesus, I believe, says, remain in me, and I'll remain in you. And then you will produce much fruit. You got to remain. You got to remain. Cool? Any closing words?
Not for me.
Not for me. Not for me either. So we love y'all.
Yeah. Thanks for your participation today.
Yeah. Special
Good
shout to Heather.
Yeah. Good to hear how the message is working in your head.
Yeah.
John
Yeah.
15:4.
John 15:4. Yep. Jesus said, I'm the vine, and you're the branch. Remain in me, and I'll remain in you, and you'll produce much fruit. Something like that. Now I want to read it. I'm trying to let y'all go.
You such a preacher.
Hey, glory. You know.
Preachers close about 10 times before
Well, she
they
gave me
close.
where it is. Abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself unless it abides in the vine, neither can you unless you abide in me. Then verse 5, I am the vine, you are the branches. He who abides in me and I in him bears much fruit. For without me you can do nothing. You want to produce much fruit, you got to remain. Abide, remain. King James, I think, might say, maybe it doesn't. So one of them says remain. The same thing, remain, abide. Yes.
What?
I just felt it.
Oh, I thought you found what you were looking for.
That was what I was looking for.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Heather. All right, love y'all.
Love you.
Have a good week. Peace.